Good morning. Today on Spotlight, the race for Detroit mayor. 1 month from this Tuesday, registered voters in Michigan's largest city will have a chance to decide who will be that municipality's chief elected officer for the next 4 years. Their choice, incumbent Michael Duggan and challenger attorney Anthony Adams. Today, meet Mr. Adams, the former deputy mayor. Why does he want the job, and what's his plan if Detroiters give it to him? It's Sunday, October the 3rd. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. Anthony Adams, thanks for joining us today on Spotlight. You're holding up okay on the campaign trail?
I'm doing fine, having a great time meeting and talking with a lot of Detroiters.
All right, very good. If I ran into you on the street, didn't have a clue who you were, and you had about enough time from when that light was going to change at the stop sign to when it was going to go green again, which is usually only about a minute or two. And I said, well, who the heck is Anthony Adams? What would your response be to try to get me to vote for you?
Anthony Adams is a person who is truly committed to our city, a person who has rendered outstanding public service in support of our children, in support of our seniors, in support of working class people who live in the city of Detroit. A man who believes that the city should work for everyone, that everyone should have a future in our city, and that we need to fundamentally change our direction so that all can benefit in whatever resurgence that people want to talk about.
If people go to your website, they see that in bold the theme of your campaign appears to be "We, Detroit, period. We deserve better." Break that down for me. Who's the we, number one?
The we is everyone who actually lives in the city of Detroit. It's an all-inclusive campaign which seeks to bring everyone into the tent. It's an approach which allows all Detroiters the opportunity to participate, to have fun, to grow, and to thrive here in the city of Detroit. We, Detroit, we do deserve better. We deserve better than what we're getting. We deserve better to have our basements flooded. We deserve better to not to be overtaxed. We deserve better not to be over-policed. And at the end of the day, if we are going to have a city that works for everyone, then we need to be inclusive of all who live in the city of Detroit.
What are your priorities? There are a million issues to deal with if you become mayor of the city, and you know that because you've been deputy mayor. But if you had to say the top 3 or 4 issues that you really want to concentrate on, what would it be?
Well, the first issue is we have to stabilize people in their homes. We continue to lose population, 90,000 by the last census count, because people are moving out of the city of Detroit because they don't have affordable housing. They don't feel safe in their communities. They don't have the resources to fix up and improve their homes. And so day number one is we have to stabilize people in their houses by first eliminating the threat of tax foreclosure on people who live in the city of Detroit. We now have 40,000 people who are at risk of losing their homes as a result of tax foreclosure. We can no longer continue to transfer our responsibility to manage our tax situation to the Wayne County Treasurer for forfeiture. We have to address that very, very aggressively. We also have to ensure that crime is dealt with in a much more equitable fashion. Part of my approach is that I believe we got to be much more interventional in our strategies. And to that end, I've called for the creation of a community intervention force that allows people to go out into the neighborhoods, to talk with people who are at risk, to talk with people who are having mental issues, to talk and deal with the homeless, not in a policing manner, but in a manner which creates a program and structure for them to become citizens that can lead productive lives in our city. Finally, we also have the issue of equitable distribution of our tax resources. When you look at the level or the participation of Black contractors in a city, it is at an all-time low. You cannot have a city which is 85% Black and have Black contractors receiving less than 5% of the benefits of contracting here in the city of Detroit. All these 3 things tie together.
You've said on the campaign trail you want to represent the, quote, ordinary people, not the special interests. A lot of people in the business community will probably take that as, okay, so he's not going to work with the business community, and how in the heck are you going to run a city if you aren't going to have big business coming in creating jobs? So how do you create that balance, and is that the message you're trying to send out?
No, because clearly most of the business community knows me. I've worked with them in various capacities, so they know I'm not anti-business. What I am anti is the unequal distribution of resources, the tax breaks and tax captures that have gone inordinately to our business community. And so the small business guy who's on Warren, who's on Mac, who's on Kercheval hasn't gotten the same level of benefit. And so how do we begin to equalize the structure so that we can provide our small businesses in the city of Detroit, which have not been given any special attention, how do we bring them into the mix and make sure that there's a process that allows them to grow their businesses? Because it's not large business that's a majority employer in the city of Detroit. It's a small business guy who employs 3 and 4 people who can walk to work. We got to make sure that that is a fair process. And I think the process has been too heavily skewed toward big business. We have this home run mentality that we got to bring big business in. All I'm suggesting is why can't we do the little things for the little people in our community so that they have a chance to grow, to expand their businesses and expand their operations? If you look at what's going on in the city of Detroit right now, we have 160,000 people that have permanently opted out of the workforce. That is not a recipe for development, and clearly the benefits that we've given large business have not trickled down to the people who actually need to be employed. So we got to change that formula. We got to change that philosophy about how we approach doing business in the city of Detroit.
Okay, Attorney Anthony Adams, we're going to take a quick little break, come back, talk about some other key issues, as well as why you want to unseat the current mayor of the city of Detroit. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Do you believe that the current mayor, Michael Duggan, has not been good for the city of Detroit? He's ushered the city out of bankruptcy. Businesses are coming into the city. By all accounts, a lot of people feel as though Detroit is moving in the right direction. Why do you want to stop that momentum?
Well, I think that it depends on who you talk with.
Okay.
When you talk with some of the people out in the neighborhoods, they have a different point of view about the actual direction in the city of Detroit. And no one is arguing that things have gone on downtown, and downtown looks great and it's a wonderful thing. But when you talk about equitable policy on including people in the mix, when you talk about the fact that people who live in the neighborhoods can't get special financing to upgrade their homes, the people who move into their neighborhoods actually have special programming. When you look at the fact that the public transportation is at an all-time low, services being cut, and we know that we have a mobility issue in our community. When you look at the distribution of benefits and who's actually benefiting from this perceived growth, when you look at these factors, there are a lot of things which dictate that things aren't going well.
So basically, you're saying he's lost touch with the common person in Detroit?
Well, I think he has, but more importantly, we look at the metrics. We're a metric-driven society. 90,000 people moved out the city of Detroit. 150,000 people have had their houses tax foreclosed on. Water's been shut off for 125,000 people. Future Cities report says that we've lost 11 middle-class neighborhoods out of the city of Detroit. If you're telling me that things are going great, I'm telling you that the facts dictate that that isn't true. On the surface, there appear to be things are going well, but when you begin to dig deep under the surface for the people that we really need to reach and touch in our community, they simply aren't being impacted by these policies. In fact, they're really being hurt.
Mayor Duggan won the primary. It was a crowded primary, a laundry list of candidates by an overwhelming margin. Are you suggesting that now there's just the two of you in the general, it's a whole different ball game, different type of viewers and voters may be coming out that didn't participate in the primary, and so you've got a real even shot?
Oh, I have more than a shot. When you look at the most recent polls, and these are their pollsters, not my pollsters, you see that I've gone up tremendously, and he's actually dropped with respect to the level of support that he has in our community. Our message is resonating that people need to be actively engaged in this process. When you only had 14% of the population vote, 70,000 people, when you have 490,000 voters out there on the table, I think there's a broad room for growth in my base. His base is pretty stable. It is what it is. It's up to me to attract new people to the mix, to bring in new voters, and to attract some of the traditional voters who can understand and clearly hear what I'm talking about, which is why I find it amazing that if his policies are what he says they are, then why won't he not stand on a stage and debate me to discuss these issues? There clearly is a reason why he isn't doing that. It's not because he believes that he has this overwhelming support, but he doesn't want to be put under the critical examination of someone who is not throwing softball questions at him about what he's been doing in our city.
One follow-up question as it relates to the mayor. I've moderated mayoral debates in which he has participated in the past. The two of you have not debated yet. Last time I think I saw something that said that he will not debate you because he doesn't want to give you a platform for hate speech. Do you believe, does he have a legitimate criticism here, or do you believe that he's afraid of you?
He's afraid of me. And that's the lamest excuse I've ever heard for a sitting two-term mayor who claims he's done all these great things in the city of Detroit. At the end of the day, he should have the courage enough to stand on the stage and defend this platform of why tax foreclosures are at an all-time high, why people have actually lost their housing, why crime is out of control, why we have no affordable public transportation system. He should want to tell us what he's doing that's so great. And the fact that he won't stand on the stage says a lot about him and his policies. He doesn't want to be critically examined. He likes cheerleaders cheering him on, but I'm not here to cheer him on. I'm here to question his policies and change the direction of the city.
All right, we need to take another little quick pause for the cause. We'll come right back and pick up on some of the key issues of this campaign. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Attorney Adams, you were part of the Kwame Kilpatrick administration. Some people look back at that administration, regardless of how much individual political talent that he had, and said, what happened was shameful and it embarrassed this city and it embarrassed himself. Should you bear any responsibility or take on any of that baggage as a part of that administration that would make people fearful to have you in the top position running this city?
I think the people should look at my own record. Yes, I did work for Kwame Kilpatrick, actually rendered valuable service to the city of Detroit. People need to be giving me credit for keeping the city moving forward when the mayor was experiencing his issues and his troubles. At the end of the day, my record speaks for itself. I was never implicated in any wrongdoing in the Kilpatrick administration, never testified in a trial for Kwame Kilpatrick. So to hold me responsible for the acts of a man who was not my son, but he was my employer, I find that to be, quite frankly, disconcerting. My record speaks for itself. I have an incredible track record of success in our community and came through that period of life and continue to render valuable service, whether I was the elected president of the Detroit Board of Education, fighting for emergency management, very active in our community, and providing social services through my church. My record speaks for itself, and I'm very proud of my career in public service in the city of Detroit. You cannot look at one aspect of my career. You have to look at every aspect of my career. Attorney in private practice, entrepreneur in the city of Detroit, a general counsel for Detroit Public Schools, interim director of Detroit Water and Sewer, executive assistant to the mayor, general counsel to the Detroit Board of Education.
When Mayor Duggan became mayor, he inherited a police chief. And that police chief stayed until he decided that he wanted to run for governor, as he is now as a Republican. Many people believe Mayor Duggan now has the police chief that he wants. If you are elected mayor, will you keep that police chief?
Well, we got to go back and first ask yourself, if the man was doing such a bad job, why did he keep him for 8 years? And then lo and behold, discovered that this man is a Republican, which pretty much I think most people knew who he was. The question about the current chief of police, he's just got in office. He's actually a member of my church. And so, we have to judge his performance for what it is. I do think that we need to change how we approach policing. I think there's too much of a reliance upon technology, facial recognition, green light, spot shotter. We need to be investing more in people, more in community programs, more in community services to pull people out of crime. And so, I will evaluate his performance when I become mayor as all of his appointees. I believe that there clearly needs to be a cleaning of house in certain departments, especially when you look, for example, at the water department and what's going on over there. There clearly needs to be new leadership. There clearly needs to be new leadership in other areas, and we'll examine that performance and bring in fresh new people. The idea was not to keep the old, but bring in the new, bring in some young talent, fresh and exciting ideas that are very progressive for how we can impact our community.
So let's be perfectly clear. If elected mayor, he will not have to turn in his resignation on day one. You would indeed give him a chance, evaluate it, and then decide later whether or not he would be your police chief.
I think that would be fair for Chief White. Like I said, he is a member of my church. He's someone who I know in passing. And so we're going to give him the opportunity to prove his work, to see what he can do for the community. What does he bring to the table? We'll take a look at that. And if I determine that this performance isn't what I need, then I have to make a decision to move in a different direction.
COVID-19 has been the backdrop over any public official, whether they like it or not, they've got to deal with it. We can just ask the governor and ask the president of the United States about that. It may still be a major issue if elected mayor and you go into office. What's your position on that in the vaccines? Would you be a mayor that would get out and really push the residents of this city to get the vaccine?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I'm vaccinated, and my wife is vaccinated. Most of my friends are vaccinated. I do believe in the vaccine and what it offers. And I think we've got to be much more aggressive in how we go out and encourage people to become vaccinated. There is a reason why we're at 40% vaccination rate when other cities are at much higher percentages. It's because our strategy is incorrect. It was a very selective strategy at the first, really aimed at a top-down approach. We give special preferences to people to get vaccinated. And now we're in a situation where the people who we actually need to get vaccinated, we cannot reach them because our method of communicating with them is not correct. We need to be using more younger people. Most of the commercials you see about the vaccine are people in their 50s and 60s. We need to be having people who are in their 20s and 30s, community influencers, people on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, communicating with our young people about the need and efficacy of getting vaccinated in our community. Our whole approach is wrong, and I think they were too selective in the beginning, and now we see what that selective policy gives us: unequal distribution of vaccination in our own community.
Counselor, infrastructure is a big ticket item. It cannot be solved by the Detroit City Council and the city budget alone. It means close alliances in support from the legislature in Lansing as well as Washington, D.C. and the federal government. Mayor Duggan touts his close relationship with President Biden as well as Governor Whitmer. Would you have the connections, the chutzpah, everything that it takes to be able to get the dollars in here to improve an old infrastructure of an old city?
Well, of course I do. I have relationships, obviously, with the Governor Whitmer. I don't have relationships with Joe Biden, but when you look at the strategic importance of Detroit as political capital for Biden's reelection, I think he needs to have a relationship with me and not the other way around, because it's Detroit vote which drove him to success. But I think when you look at how we approach the issue of infrastructure, at least with stormwater runoff, we're approaching it entirely wrong. We're talking about increasing the size of pipes when we should be talking about how we create green conservation districts throughout the city. How do we change our road design so that we're diverting more stormwater out of the system into our parks as way stations of that? How do we create bioswales throughout the entire city so that we're forcing more water out of the system? The solution isn't always how we increase the size of the pipe for sewer to flow. It's how we divert more water out of the system to provide the relief for people who live in a city whose basements have continuously flooded over the last 2 and 3 months. 5 times flooding, that is unacceptable. We're forcing people out of their houses. We got to change how we approach infrastructure, not the old ways, but try something new and something different.
One of the quick final questions. A recent Target Insight poll by Ed Sarpolis, a gentleman who used to be a pollster for many, many years here at Channel 7, suggests that you poll better with young people than with senior citizens. But we all know who've watched elections, senior citizens vote. Can you win this election if you don't improve your standing with senior citizens?
Well, I have to do a much better job of outreach to senior citizens, which is what we've been working on. But I'm also focusing on our young voters. You know, when you look at the age group from 18 to 35, they represent maybe 45, 50% of the actual voting population in the city of Detroit. They are a major force, and we need to respect that, and I need to encourage them. So we're going out, talking with millennials, hanging with millennials where they are to do the things we need to do, but we're also doing the senior citizens event. I had a great event with senior citizens at Milliken Park. I think I will do much better now that it's a two-person race. People can focus. When you got 10 people on the field, people tend to go with the name they know. But I've had a chance to talk with our seniors, to tell them about my different programs of how we can create intergenerational communication between young people and old, how we get our senior citizens out of senior buildings and get them into volunteering at Millennial Park, at the Detroit Zoo, at the DIA. How do we get our seniors active in the community? And I think those things are going to pay off for me.
Quick final question. Does Anthony Adams have a hero in his life, maybe someone that you would model yourself after if elected mayor, that would be a good example to the people to say, that's the kind of person I will be?
Well, you know, my political icon actually is a guy that you know well, Carl Stokes. Promises of Power is a political biography that I read. I probably read it once a month. Love his insight, love his courage, love what he brought to the table. But if I have an idol in this game, it's my mother. Juanita M. Adams, a dedicated public servant, worked 47 years for the city, went from a clerk typist, lowest clerk typist position you have, to retired as a register for the city of Cincinnati. She is my idol because she taught me the value of hard work and public service. Public service is what we need. We need people who are public servants. I'm not a career politician. I'm a person who believes in public service, who believes in that our community deserves the best for themselves. We, Detroit, we deserve better.
All right, Anthony Adams, fun part about this job as a journalist, you ask a question and you never know what the answer is going to be. And even in all my long years, I get surprised here and there. Thanks so much for joining us today on Spotlight. Best of luck on the campaign trail. We'll follow you and your opponent and see what the voters decide on Election Day.
Well, hopefully you might be able to host a mayoral debate as well.
All right, we'll see what we can do. Thanks so much. All right, good talking to you. That's it for today. In an upcoming Spotlight, we plan to bring you an in-depth interview with Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan on why he wants to be reelected. So stay tuned. I'm Chuck Stokes. Have a great week.